Russia will see the presence of US based long range missiles in Ukraine as a new red line crossed. Cross it. You will see the response will be swift, asymmetrical, far beyond Ukraine. This is what Putin said for 8 seconds in his 43-minute speech in Sochi on October 2nd. Just 8 seconds, but it silenced the 140 nations who were present there in that summit, and it has sent ripples across the world, and it has restarted every war game from Brussels to Beijing. Hi guys, in today's video, let's deep dive into what Putin spoke in Sochi yesterday and what implications it has in global geopolitics. On October 2 in Sochi, Putin went on stage. This time he just went straight to the point. He skipped this 20-minute opener and he went to this point. He particularly named three missiles. One is the Tomahawk cruise missile, second is the Anglo-French Storm Shadow, and the third is the MGM-140 missiles. He named these three missiles and told that if these three missiles, if US supplies to Ukraine, then this is a new form of escalation. Why did he tell like that? That is because this Tomahawk missile has a cruise range of about 1600 kilometers, and from Ukraine to Kremlin it can reach in 90 minutes. So he's not saying if you supply it and then if they fire it I am going to retaliate. He clearly states that even if this reaches Ukraine, I will start my escalation. That is, I will not only attack Ukraine, but I will attack the other Eastern European countries which are present there. See, this is a threat of world war, saying that if these long range missiles go to Ukraine, then he will escalate. But the question is, how did Putin come to know that these missiles are going to Ukraine? Just hours before this meet, there was a leak from Washington where a deal was shown between Ukraine and USA, which was called as the missile swap deal, where they will give these Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine by November end. Now Putin came to know about this. He used this speech as an opportunity to tell everyone, if this missile enters Ukraine, I am going to escalate to unimaginable proportions. So has he just reset the doomsday clock? That we don't know, but the threat is real and we need to be vigilant about it. In addition to speaking about this Tomahawk missile, Putin also spoke about whole lot of other issues. He clearly said that the European nations are responsible for this war to be fought for so long. He also told about the comment which was made by the USA President Donald Trump regarding that Russia is a paper tiger. He told that Russia is fighting against the entire NATO and still advancing in Ukraine. Now you know who the real paper tiger is. Also, he spoke about India in this. He told that India is buying whole lot of oil from Russia and nobody should stop India from buying oil from Russia, because if India stops buying this oil, then they will incur losses of about 9 to 10 billion. Also, Putin told clearly that he is not threatening any NATO nation. Basically, what Putin is trying to tell is, you bring these long range missiles into Ukraine, what will happen? These missiles are within firing range of Kremlin, and within 90 minutes these missiles will reach Kremlin. I will not allow that. Only if this missile reaches Ukraine, I will immediately escalate this. And he was giving a chilling warning to other European nations also. Now the reaction to this speech was immediate. Within hours of this speech, many countries, Stockholm, Warsaw, all started increasing their defense budget. Now they are believing that once this long range missile reaches Ukraine, Putin will actually escalate. Whether it was just a threat or whether he actually meant it, we don't know. But all the countries are reacting in such a way that they will start protecting themselves. Now there are three ways this could play out. First way it could play out is US thinks that okay, Putin has made a threat like this, so let's not escalate this any further, and they will stop sending this Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. What is a good thing which is going to come out of it? There is no immediate threat of escalation, because Putin has just said that this is a red line, you cross it, then I am going to escalate not only to Ukraine but far beyond Ukraine. But on the downside, what will be there? Ukraine will feel betrayed. They were thinking that this long range missile will come to them and they will get upper hand in the war, and they will be the one who will be losing in this scenario. Now scenario B, USA does not give in. They send these Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, and Ukraine just fires one missile, that too in the outskirts of Russia or somewhere they are going to fire it, just to show them that we have these missiles. And Russia in retaliation will fire another long range missile to some railway track or something in Ukraine, and that will be like a symbolic attack, telling that if you attack, we are going to attack you. This could also play out. The possibility that these two scenarios can occur together will be only 60%. The other 40% scenario which can happen is, if USA shifts these Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine and Russia actually tells what they are going to do, what they are saying, only if you send these Tomahawk missiles, I will escalate. And they escalate and it goes to unimaginable proportions because all these are nuclear powered countries and this scenario has a higher chance of 40%. We hope that this scenario doesn't happen because this can lead to destruction of unimaginable proportions. So what we can see from this 43-minute speech from Putin is basically the Russian president is not going to back down. He is saying he is ready for war if it is brought to him. He is clearly telling that I've already captured many parts of Ukraine. Even though I am fighting against the entire NATO, I am still advancing, means that I have a superior force. Also, he is trying to tell that if you bring these long range missiles to Ukraine, I will escalate. He has clearly said that this is a red line which should not be crossed, and if it crosses, then I don't know what I am going to do. So this is going to put everything in a very precarious situation. On the other hand, US will think that no, we have to give these long range missiles to Ukraine because Ukraine is already trying to win the war and they don't have enough equipments to win the war. So Ukraine is asking for these missiles. But on the other hand, now Putin is saying that you give this missile only, I will escalate. You don't need to fire it at me. Only if you give these missiles to them, I will escalate. Even if he doesn't escalate, with Ukraine having the missiles, the very possibility that they will use them will create an existential crisis for Russia, forcing Russia to do some retaliation or the other. And in this threat, Putin has clearly said that the line is far beyond Ukraine. So he could attack any NATO base also, and that will actually lead into a world war. Now, the world is now split into two, whether this long range missile should go to Ukraine or not. And let's see how it plays out. Do like, share and subscribe me for more interesting videos, and please let me know your views about these comments made by the Russian president in the comment section below.